Hello and welcome to Back to Life Studio. Today we are 2 sleeps out from Christmas and we are going to do a therapeutic movement class. Stevie's got her eye on the elf behind us. It's giving her the heebie-jeebies. All right, so today what we're going to do is a really nice, gentle therapeutic movement session just to get you moving, to help release some stress and tension you've been holding on to all week or perhaps even all year. We are going to need a cushion and a hand towel and a Theraband if you've got one handy, some lightweight hand weights, and this is a weighted ball, but you can use a can of spaghetti or something like that. And I think that's about it. We've got our mat. We're pretty much ready to go. So let's get into it. All right. So doing our roll down now, we're going to point our toes. So as we roll down, we're going to point our toes away from our body, down towards the mat, reach the arms overhead, and then come back, and then pull the toes back towards your nose as you come up for the next one, and that will also help you come up, okay? So point the toes, roll down, and then flex the toes coming up. That can help. Okay, pointing down and flexing to come up. It almost feels like the natural flow of the movement. So to do that, flex and then point, flex and then point, okay? So let's continue on. We're going to do our roll down from here now. We're rolling down onto the mat. I'm going to start with tilting the pubic bone towards our nose and then back down towards our toes. So tilting back, imagine you've got handles on the sides of your hips. So you're tilting towards your nose and then back down towards your toes. So we're going to do 10 of those. Exhaling down, inhale up towards your nose and then exhale back down towards your toes. Inhale towards your nose, exhale back down. And we're going to do some pelvic clocks, so rolling the pelvis around from one side to the other, creating that movement into that sacrum. Change direction. Now, ideally, you want to do this exercise and not necessarily have your thighs moving. You really want to keep that movement isolated into the pelvis. But whatever feels good for you today. If you need to get a little bit more of an exaggerated movement happening, feel free to do that as well. It just helps release off the hips if they've been a bit stuck, if you've been sitting down for a long time at the office, or if you've been standing at the long time at work. Just creating that movement and attention into that pelvis to create that activation. All right, so we're going to do our pelvic curl now. So peeling the pelvis up off the mat, all the way up to the top and back down again. Tilting down and then exhaling up. We're not doing a long session today, I'm just taking you through maybe 5 of each, just to get us through, just to keep that movement going while you're on holidays. And last one, up. Okay, hands behind head. I'm going to come up into our chest lift and back down again. So exhale up. And back down. Again, up and back down. Really working into that space between your hip bones, pubic bone and belly button as you're coming up. So you're feeling strong through your center, your deepest stomach muscles. And last one. Good. We're going to do our knee floats now. So heels a little bit further away from your body. We're just going to lift that leg up and lower down. And again, other side and down. Exhaling as you float that knee up and down. So everything below the knee stays still. You're landing, taking off and landing in the same space, same position. Exhale up. Good. All right. And last one on this side. Good. Bring your legs up to tabletop. Legs at tabletop. Exhale, toe tap that leg down. Exhale down. Relaxing in the shoulders if you're feeling a bit of tension building up there, like I just was. 2 more. And last one. Good. Bring those knees into your chest. Roll your tailbone off the mat behind you. Roll those ankles around into a figure of 8. Good. Stretch one leg out, down to the mat, holding the outside hand to the below the knee, inside hand around the ankle, pulling that knee into your chest. Hold here for a moment, letting that hip release again. And swap legs over. And we're going to come up into our chest lift now. Exhaling, swapping those legs over. So pulling your knee to your chest and your chest to your knee. Softening the elbows, softening the shoulders. Pulling that knee in. Keeping it smooth. And down. Bring those knees to your chest. Good, and then we're going to roll up. Okay, so now we're going to do roll like a ball. You're going to bring your legs nice and tight into you. You're going to create a C curve and keep that connection in with your stomach. And your hands are holding onto probably the middle of your shins, okay? So creating that rounded feeling here. You're going to inhale back and exhale to come up, okay? Making sure that you've got a clear runway behind you so that you're not going to hurt your neck or hit your head on anything. And also, when you do roll back, you're not rolling back onto your neck, you're rolling back onto the tops of your shoulders, okay? So making sure you're keeping that C curve to keep that rounded feeling so you can roll like a ball. All right, so flexion in, exhale, looking into your tummy, inhale, roll back. Balancing in the center, using your core to activate. And again, back. And again. Nice and controlled. Again. Good, and last one. Okay, now we're going to do open leg rocker, okay? So legs are going to come up, holding onto the base of your calves. Legs come up, they're a little bit wider than shoulder width, okay? You could probably do wider again, but you're pulling and pushing at the same time into your calves, okay? So that's what's helping you come up and come down. So nice and controlled. Inhale down, exhale up. Straight legs. Yeah, use all those muscles to get you up. And again. That's it. One more. And last one. Beautiful. And then that would form into teaser. Good work. All right, let's come around. Let's do some mermaids, everyone's favourite. Just to start off with, just to do some hip opening, we're just going to push the hips forward here and release back. Again, push forward and release back. 2 more. Last one. Switch the legs around. We'll do the same on the other side. So pushing that hip forward, releasing off, forward, releasing off. And last one. Good. Now switch the legs back again. This time we're going to do our mermaids, okay? So hand forward, elbow comes into the body as you're reaching over, creating that nice lift from the ribs, lifting up and back. And one more. Good. Switch the legs around. Yep, finding that breath, let that breath come into the body, relaxing into it, lifting up those ribs. Nice stretch out of the waist. Looked forward to this session today. Watch that neck placement. Don't do what I just did. That's it. And one more. This side and last one here. Good. Alrighty. Going to come back onto our backs again. This time we're going to do our shoulder bridges, okay? So just a little cushion underneath your head just to give you a bit of support. Now that you've done those hip openers, that should help with this next exercise. So now bring your heels a little bit closer to your bottom. You're going to curl your pelvis up, pushing your hips up nice and high, activating those glutes underneath and stretching the tops of those thighs. And we're going to come back down again. This is a really nice movement meditation, this next exercise. So what we're going to do is we're going to inhale at the bottom. Exhale to roll up. Hold here. Inhale. And then exhale to lift one leg up. Inhale that leg down. Exhale to lift that leg up. Inhale that leg down. And then the bottom comes down. Okay? Again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale. Inhale down. Exhale, whole body down. Again, exhale up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Then exhale the whole body down. We'll do 2 more of these at your own pace. And last one. Good-o. All right. All right. So now we're going to get our Theraband and use this for the next exercise, okay? So we're going to lay back down onto your back. You're going to place your foot into the Theraband so that the ball of your foot is quite supported all the way through for that Theraband. And we're going to start with some hamstring raise and lowers to begin with. Actually, no, we're going to start with some calf stretches, okay? So we're pointing the toe and flexing the toes back. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, stretching those calves. 2 more. Good. And we do hamstring raise and lower. So we're going to lower the leg down, heel down, and coming back up. And again, down. So key thing to remember when you're doing this exercise is that you're getting that stretch into the hamstrings at the top there without lifting your pelvis, okay? You want to keep your pelvis still heavy into the mat as that leg comes up. And if you can keep your legs straight too, that's even better. But it's just taking it to that point of tension and back down. Good. With the next one, we're going to swing the leg down and around for our hip circles. Big exhale breath that carries this one all the way around. So exhale down and back up. Back up. Back. That other leg is keeping your pelvis stable so that that femur can circle around into that hip joint, mobilizing. Good. All right, come back to center. Swap the legs over in the air, makes it a little bit easier. Going back to our point and flex. So point, flex, point, flex, point, flex, point, flex. 2 more. And last one. Good. Raise and lowers. Lower that leg down and back up. Okay, we're going to do our hip circles, so leg lowers down and we swing around, back up. Then do nice continuous circles if you can, if that feels all right for you. Nice and smooth. Last one. Good. Rest down. Good work. All right. Put both feet into the Theraband. Walk your hands up just past your knees. And we're going to come up into a supported teaser. So exhale. Legs are going to come down. Your body's going to come up. And back down. Beautiful. All right. Put those to the side now. We're going to do some clams. So you need a little bit more head support. All right, knees together. Feet together, connected together, they're level, shoulders level, hips level, head supported, and we'll lift that hip. Exhale, really working into those glutes behind. You can touch them if you don't feel them awake, just to get a bit more focus in on that muscle. That's better. Mine didn't want to work there for a bit either, so just connecting them in. Four more. And one. Legs straight out in front. Do our little leg circles. Keeping the circle small, it's more intense than the bigger circle. Again, really focusing in on those muscles at the back of you. Support your hips. Good. All right, legs lengthen down. Top leg lifts, bottom leg meets to the top leg. Thinking thighs together, squeezing them together. Relax shoulders. Two more. Last one. Whew, good work. All right, swapping sides. Do it all again on the other side. All right, so feet together, knees level, shoulders facing out in front, hips square facing out as well. Focusing in on that glute muscles behind your hips. Two more. Last one. Lengthen that leg down. We'll do 10 circles. Again, keeping that circle small and controlled. And legs down. Okay, lengthening legs down for our side lying leg lift. Leg lifts up, bottom leg meets it. Two more. And last one. Good work. All right. Now we're going to grab your hand weight. It doesn't have to be a big heavy one. These are tiny. Look at the size of it. It's tiny. But it's just to give you that bit more feedback with the arm, okay? So we're going to do our chest opens. So laying directly on your side, supported, your knees are anchored down into the mat in front. You're going to hold that weight with your top arm and you're going to follow, making sure you've got plenty of support at the back of your head for when you go into that full opening position. And back again. This is a great exercise for golf as well, just helping create that thoracic rotation, shoulders stability, and that rotation through the waist. So the legs are staying in front, but you're getting this beautiful stretch through the waist and through your pecs even. Okay. So taking this at your own time, it's a really nice exercise to let that breath come into it at the end range. And last one. Good. And then come to. All right, we're going to swap ends again. Arms out in front. Following that arm with your eyes, you get that whole rotation. Shoulders nice and stable in its socket, so it's not up and it's not down, it's starting and finishing at the same place. And then coming back in. And last one. Good work. Okay, we can let that ball go now. We're going to come up, we're going to do our cat-cow. So wrists directly underneath shoulders and knees directly underneath hips, pulling the belly up and then setting the tailbone up to the sky behind you and the heart to the wall out in front. Again, pulling the belly up, pushing yourself away from the mat into a big cat stretch, and then tail comes up, rolling through. Head is the last thing that comes up. Keep the head there, pull the belly up. And pick up the pace and just enjoy that fluid movement through the spine, keeping the shoulders still as possible, just letting that spine mobilize. Okay, we're going to do our alternating arms and legs, bird dog. We're going to toes reach out behind you, square your hips off, arm reaches out in front, and then you lift that hip up. Okay, so nice and long. Straight through, pushing yourself away from the mat, holding there for 3 seconds to get that activation. All right, and then reaching, lifting, holding. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Other side again, reach, lift. 3, 2, 1, and back down. Again, other side, reach, lift. 3, 2, 1, and again, other side, reach, lift. Last one, reach, lift, hold. 3, 2, 1. Good work. Big toes together, knees apart. Send your sit bones back to your toes. And then just rest here for a moment, breathing into that lower back. Letting the breath naturally expand the ribs and stretch the intercostals. And taking a moment to focus in on pelvic floor. So resting your head down onto the mat, your elbows can come a little bit closer to your knees. And we're just going to squeeze the front of the pelvic floor. So where you do wheeze, you're going to squeeze so exhale and then squeeze, hold, and then gently release. And again, squeeze, hold, gently release. Again, squeeze, hold, gently release. And last one, squeeze, hold, and release. Good work. All right, so now we're going to do our donkey kicks, okay? So the leg comes up and you flex that heel and bring your heel back towards your bottom, okay? So your hips are nice and square, so keep them square and bring that hip up, bottom. Exhale, pulse for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, get those hamstrings working. Other side, again, bring the leg up, flex, bring that heel to your bottom as much as possible. Yes, it activates your hamstrings big time. Okay, we're going to go for pulses for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. Good work. All right, we're going to come up into a hip flexor stretch now. So just having a cushion for your knee to rest on. And we're going to bring that other leg forward and lean into that hip, okay? So again, making sure that your hips are facing out in front and we're stretching down and then backing off, okay? Down and backing off. Again, down, backing off. If you want a deeper stretch, you can bring that arm up and just a little chest lift. And back down. And again. And last one. Good. Swap sides, do the other side. Leg out in front. Stretch down. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale. Take a little bit deeper, bringing that arm up into the movement. And last one. Good work. Okay. So now we can lay back down onto our backs. And do I need that one? Yes, I will use that one. Get yourself comfortable. Right, legs are going to be about the width of your mat for now. We're going to roll that hip onto its side. Might be better showing this one. Let the leg just roll in on its side, okay? So you're not necessarily dropping out the other one. Keep that where it is and just let those legs drop in. Help releasing off the hips as well. Again, these are, I think, called windscreen wipers. For obvious reasons, they're kind of a bit like windscreen wipers, aren't they? So you're rocking from side to side. Stretching the back of those hips. Internal rotation. Got 2 more. Last one. I'm going for another one. Helps release off my back. All right, then we're going to roll over onto the side, and actually we're going to roll over onto your front, and we're going to do diamond press and dart. So diamond press, your hands are just out in front, or just your thumbs are in line with where your eyebrows are. So your forehead is going to rest onto your thumbs onto the mat. And then you pull your head away as if you're looking or trying to read fine print into that diamond space, into the mat, and back down again. So pushing your head away and back down. And then last one. But now you can roll up your mat and just rest your forehead onto that. Arms are going to come down by your side, completely relaxed to begin with. Holding here for a moment. And then let everything engage. So we start lifting the chest up off the mat. Thighs coming up. And back down. Again. Reaching down and back. Good. There's a reason why I don't speak doing those, because they are quite strong. All right. Next one. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Feel you long out of your torso, so you're not cutting yourself off in the middle. You feel like you're long and pushing yourself up from the mat. Then we kick, kick, okay? Kick, kick. So kick, kick. We want to refine this a little bit more. We go kick, kick, down, kick. Coming back down into child's pose now, having a rest, breathing into that body. And then coming up from there, walking your hands forward slightly, stretching your legs out long, holding yourself in a plank for 3, 2, 1. Bend your knees, come back, just stretch back. Don't move anything. Glide forward, lift your knees. 3, 2, 1. Back down, push back. Again, slide forward, lifting. 3, 2, 1, and knees bent. Okay, now we're going to come all the way up, okay? So I want you to bring your feet underneath you. Feet underneath you. And then start to roll up. Okay, so you're pushing down into your heels first. Knees are bent. And start to roll up. Exhaling, rolling up one vertebra at a time, pulling that belly button in to help support your back as you're rolling up, stacking up and finishing off with a nice shoulder roll. And we are complete. Merry Christmas, everyone. Wishing you all a happy and safe festive season, and we look forward to sharing 2026 with you all.